Happy Wednesday, folks. Anthony Speciale here with Speciale Analysis. Hope you're having a wonderful week so far. So, as promised, today we are going to discuss a closed trade idea that I had shared with you folks back when the trade was initiated. So it was hidden. This is not hypothetical. We didn't change anything in the chart. We didn't change anything in TradingView. I'm going to show it all to you today. This way you see the entire process. For those of you who are brand new, or those of you still getting acclimated with the way I bring the material to you, I want to take a moment and go through it because I think it's really, really important. This is really, really valuable. Again, I do this completely 110% for free. I do this for you simply because nobody was doing it for me when I first started trading. Those of you that have been here for a while or read the newsletters know that I do work with a company called Traders Agency out of Orlando, Florida. I love my company I work for. I love the owners. I love the people. I love the staff. I love the students. So, I don't need to do this portion of it for any fee. I don't charge for what I share with you all simply because I work with them and I am compensated with them. We do build programs. We do sell programs. It's obviously a little more inclusive, a little more in depth, a little more of a personal touch, and there are some live classes involved. But, this is about introducing you to the market. This is about giving you a different way of looking at the market. This is about you growing as a trader and as a person and as an investor. And ultimately what your next steps are always up to you. So I'm going to open up the chart. We're going to take a look at a particular stock that has performed well for us. I'm also going to open up TradingView and we're going to look at it, through the whole picture so you get to see it all. So let's get started. Okay. So I'm going to go to TradingView first, simply because I want you to see this first. So here we are, right here. Apple settles below support. That's pretty important because when one of the absolute biggest companies in the publicly traded market settles below support, we should know about it. I posted this on May 14th. So at the end of every week for you all, like I do for my paid clientele, I go through the market. I look for some big names. I look for some mid-cap names. I look for some small-cap names. Depending on the service I'm doing it for, depending if I'm doing it for you all, I just need to look through a handful. And if I can identify one or two or three, it's very easy for me to now build, A, the structures, and then B, the trade plan around it for whether it's you or my paid students to take advantage of these moves. Now, in this particular instance, this is obviously for you guys. So here we go. Open it up. Apple settles below support. Give it a second. We're going to take a look at the chart, and then we're going to take a look at the written portion of this as well. I'm not sure why this is taking so long. This usually opens instantly. Let's try it again. Boom, there we go. All right, so now that the computer has caught up with our thought process, we are in business. So this is a picture of Apple and all my analysis that I had on the chart. So what you can see is Apple was trending up and now Apple's trending down. How do we define a trend? Simple. An uptrend has a series of higher highs and higher lows. A downtrend has a series of lower highs and lower lows. So high, lower high. Lows, lower lows. Yeah, now we have just defined a downtrend. So we know which direction we want to trade in. What also do we know? We also know that if we're trading in the right direction, the risk gets smaller, meaning our resistance, our stop loss essentially would come closer to our entry, and our reward would get bigger because it would continue to travel away from us. So the unique thing about TradingView is it gets to capture the moment, which I really, really like. Especially when I'm sharing this with you all, you get to see it the way I captured it, and then you get to see how it is actually right now. So on the bottom here, I wrote very clear, Apple settles 1% below. Support offering us an opportunity to short this stock. I've indicated the area of entry, stop loss, and targets, keeping in mind a 1% buffer. I've detailed ascending and descending support and resistance on the chart for your reference as well. Keep in mind the major indexes have tested support this past week. Apple is a huge influence on the broader market. If this stock goes lower, it likely takes the rest of the market with it. On the other hand, if the markets grind higher, it could kill this setup as well. Wishing you a blessed and profitable week. So I want to give you all the perspective because this is how you get the opportunity to make the right decision for yourself. I'm not here to sell you anything. So there's nothing that you have to pay for. There's no reason for me to give you a sales pitch. It just comes right down to these are the facts. Okay? These are the facts. And that is what I share with you. The next part of this that I love so much is I have the opportunity to now play out the scenario by hitting the play button. So when I highlight this, it says load new bars. So when I click it, there you go. It tells me if my trade idea worked or failed. Well, obviously the screen lit up green, that means it worked. The screen lit up red, it would mean that it didn't work. So you can see our entries here. This is our trigger candle. This is the candle we entered on. Here's our target. We're out of this trade already. Profits already taken. And now you can see that the price action is just fluttering around. So now that we've seen this piece, we go right to the chart. So we see the bigger picture. So 1% confirmation. How do we do that? So you all have been with me for a little while, and those of you who have not, welcome. But I use a blueprint, and that blueprint consists of 1%. So if I do not get a 1% confirmation, I am not interested in the trade. I don't care if it's a stock, commodity, futures, Forex, cryptocurrency, makes no difference to me. No confirmation, no trade. What's the other part of it? The analysis. Well, that's the more difficult part. That it takes time and experience. But luckily for all of you, I do it for you. So you can see the lines all drawn on the screen here are all hand drawn. None of this is done by a algorithm or a machine or software. This is all done by this guy. And if I do my job correctly, we find success. If I do my job poorly, then we could have issues. But here nor there, lucky for you, I've studied this for many years and have become fairly decent at it. So when we put these together, if the trade is going to work, and they will not all work, but if it does work, it will work well. There's been studies done here and in the European markets from as far back as the 60s to as recent as the 90s. Using this 1% blueprint does in fact offer you an 80 to 90% success rate. So how many stocks that was done on to create that, I don't have the answer for. Was it done broadly? I don't know. But I can just tell you that I use this method because it is proven. It is far better than almost anything else I've ever used. So with that, here's our 1% confirmation. How do we do that? So we measure from the fixed structure line to the close of the candle, and you can see we have approximately 4.1% of confirmation. That is more than enough for me to entertain the idea of taking this trade. So I'm happy. I know I'm going to take this trade. I know I'm ready to short this trade. I got to look for a target. So simple as that. I have another structure here. I employ a buffer. I want to make sure that if I need a 1% confirmation to get into the trade, I want a 1% buffer to get out of the trade. I want to make sure I'm not fighting some force of supply and resistance. Understand something. This is not a secret. Knowing how to identify where good support and where resistance is not a secret. It is a timeless strategy that has been used since the beginning of time and will be used until the end of time to identify where these areas in the market are. So trust me, you and me, us collectively, are not the only people that are looking at these particular price points. So with that being said, I want to give a buffer because I know that if there's good support there or good resistance, that the others are going to be coming in to buy or sell as well. So I want to get ahead of them, or I want to be at the front of the pack when it's time to get out of my trade. So we did that. What happened? In this 1 week's time, this is from last week, this transpired, we had a target at 133. Within that week, we had a low of 132.61. Well, there you have it, folks. In 1 week's time, we were able to secure this trade. Now, what did this trade afford us? simply by measuring from our entry to our exit. Let's call it approximately 9.47%. I can live with 9.5% in a week. I can live with 9.5% in a month. Heck, I could live with 9.5% on my portfolio in a year and I would be ecstatically happy. So, the idea is to now do this over and over and over and over again on whatever sets up that meets our criteria. It really doesn't matter. Are we going to have some losers along the way? Yeah, it's unavoidable. So anyone who thinks they're never going to lose, get it out of your head, get it out of your system. If you can't handle the losses, this isn't your game. Find a hobby. This is not a hobby. This is a business. Businesses cost money to run and operate. In our business, not only do we have overhead, we have risk. And that risk is loss of money in trades. I've owned businesses my entire life. There is risk in everything you do, my friends. If you cannot absorb the risk, if you do not understand the risk, if you cannot embrace the risk, then you should not be in that business. But this worked out well for us. What does this afford us in the big picture? For those of you who are savvy options traders, you should have very easily been able to collect yourself by just buying a simple put option. This is not getting fancy. By buying a simple put option, knowing that your risk is capped to what you paid in premium, that you could have very easily got yourself, I would imagine, 60, 70, 80, nearly 90% return on your money had you selected a put option to mimic this trade. I personally, when this happens, it's a 3 to 5 week sell signal. I would anticipate 3 to 5 weeks. This happened inside of 1 week. So depending on which put option you call, which expiration, it obviously varies just a little bit. But the point of the matter is for you to be able to see and understand exactly how this transpires. So I hope you found today's video informational, educational. I hope that maybe I entertained you for a couple minutes and distracted you from, whatever may or may not be causing you to have a bad day. And most importantly, I hope you learned something. I hope that you retained something that as a trader you can go employ and do better for yourself. Because that's my goal. My goal is to see you do better for yourself, for your family, for your future. Because this is attainable by every single one of us. It's just a matter of applying the principles, applying the rules, following the trade plan. That discipline and consistency is absolutely key. So if you enjoyed any of this, even in the littlest bit, if I could just ask a favor, and that favor is very simple. Below this video, if you could like, share, subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. My goal is to help, to teach, to educate, to see as many folks be as wildly successful as possible. And if I can just take an ever so slight part in that, in helping them realize their own potential. I'm not doing it for them. I don't want the credit. I'm doing this for them. I want them to take the credit because they decide to take action. If I can just have a little piece of that, meaning that I did something. I made somebody's life a little bit better. At the end of the day, that's all I need. It's all I'll ever need. And I couldn't be more grateful and more happy to do this for each and every one of you. So I wish you a beautiful and blessed day. I look forward to speaking with you tomorrow when we get into another action-packed video. So between now and then, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying well. Most importantly, I hope you're healthy. And I will see you tomorrow.